G'day, my name's Sam. If we haven't met before, thank you so much for being here. One of the first things I hear as a yoga teacher when new students come to practice is just how much tightness and how much lack of space they have in their hips. And they often ask, what is something simple that I can do at home to find some quick relief in the hips? So if I only had 5 minutes and my hips were tight, these are the 4 exercises that I would put into my daily practice to help me find a little bit more space. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. It would mean a heck of a lot to me. And save the video and use it whenever you need to. So we're going to fold over our yoga mat here. So we have 3 layers of padding, and we're going to come on up, the hips stacked on top of the knees, and we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to work on hip extension here, so keeping the glutes firm and the hips pressing forwards. We're going to take an inhale at the top, and as we exhale, we're going to work to lean back, keeping those hips in extension. So take a breath in, exhale, you lean back, and you rise. We're going to go for 10 of these. Rise back up. And depending on how strong your quads are and your hip flexors are, you might only go back a little. That's completely fine. We'll call this 5. Again, really working on contracting those glutes so you're keeping the front of the hips and the front of the quads super long. 7. 8. And when it gets more comfortable, you can linger back there in your end range a little bit more just to see what that feels like. Nice one. So that's your 10 there. Immediately the counter pose or the opposing action would be a malasana or a squat. So depending on your ankle flexibility, you could be here with your heels lifted or your heels could set down to the floor. Now this, although foreign to a lot of people, is a really natural movement pattern and something that we can all do when we're very young and we first learn how to walk. This is, you'll see young kids and toddlers playing with toys and just sitting down on the floor. So this is something that we should be able to do, but as we get older, movement becomes less of a priority and we have to be a human and integrate into society and get jobs and travel and transport, and so we sit down quite a lot, so we lose this space. And while I'm here, I'm using my arms and my hands strategically. I'm pressing my palms together to feel my thighs moving away from one another. At the same time, I'm gently drawing my thighs back into my elbows to lift my chest. That way I'm working on a long spine, and I'm also working on a gentle contraction of the inner thighs and also working on pushing them away. So you could work on being here for just a minute at the start if you're very new to this movement. And if you can work towards, over the course of a day, being in this space for 30 minutes, that could be broken up in 1 minute or 2 minute segments, then you will really start to build a lot more mobility in the hips really, really quickly. And if you are new to it, you'll probably feel the muscles of the shins, the tibialis anterior, the muscles that runs on the outside of the shin there. They'll really start to feel quite a lot because this is not a natural position for a lot of adults. But as it starts to get more comfortable, you will feel a little more natural there. If you wanted to stretch out your tibs, your tibialis anterior, you could sit back on the knees with the tops of the feet grounded. You could lean back and you could lift one knee just to feel the stretch in the front of the ankle. And you could do that on the opposite side. Nice work. Number 3 is a Skandasana. If you are in a gym situation, they refer to this action as a Cossack squat. So we're going to do it similar to how you would do it in the gym. So we're going to have the feet wider than the hips with the toes pointing out wider than the heels. And to start with, we're going to bend into the right knee. As the knee bends, you want the knee to be moving in the same direction as the toes. And as you get lower, you can lift the opposite toes off the mat. If you had yoga blocks, you could pop them underneath your hands if there's nowhere else for you to go, or you could come down nice and low, really working to lengthen out through the adductors, the inner thighs. integrating a single leg squat to press back up before coming into the other side. And we're going to do 6 on either side. So this is also giving you a lot of pushing strength through the quadriceps and through the glutes as well, which is really important. Single leg strength is really important for your knee health as well. This also works wonders for your balance. It's 4. 4, 5. 4, 6. Oh, not yet. 4, 6. My brain was just hoping that that was the 6th. Nice work. So for our final exercise, we're going to come over to the wall. Now you could put something soft underneath one of your knees as you come up towards the wall. We're going to work on a quad stretch, which is quite strong. And if you've never done it before, it's probably going to look outrageous. But once you learn how to get into it, there's really quite a lot of relief there. So I have the fingertips on the floor. I'm going to take the right foot up the wall for a moment and then bend my left knee to work to lower my right knee onto the block. And then you can use your left hand to press into the left thigh to rise up. Depending on where you start, you could be further away from the wall. Eventually you could work having the ankle outside the hip and working to press yourself back towards the wall. Really stretching out through the quads, the front of the hips. If you want to feel more of a lengthened position, you could lean forwards a little bit more using your hands to support your left thigh. 30 seconds to 1 minute before switching sides. And if you're strategic, you won't need to move your support. You just move yourself gently to get into the opposite side. Working towards an upright position. Again, that may not be available to you at the start. That's totally cool. 30 seconds there, and you could work on some gentle shifting between that forwards and back position. So if that were all that I had time for in the day, and that's all that I could do to give myself space in the hips, those would be my number 4 top poses or exercises to find some relief in those sticky hips. Give that a try. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.